What is going on, guys? Version 5.2 is finally here. They've just dropped the patch, so you can actually enter the dimensional hole now. What we're going to do as part of this video, guys, is we're going to be going through the patch details. We're going to be talking about the 2A skills mainly. And then we'll do some gameplay as well. We'll see what the dimensional hole is all about, the new area is all about. Alright, so let's have a look through, guys. Version 5.2. Explore the new dimension. Dimension Lumel is now available. Alrighty, let's keep scrolling down. What do we see? Check out new developers video. I don't think we'll review this as part of the video, as part of our YouTube video. We'll skip past that. Okay, so the entrance conditions, as we spoke about in that previous video, guys. The sum of the default star grade of the monsters must be 15 or lower. So you got 4 monsters. So it's telling you have to pick 1 3-star. You can pick up to 3 4-stars, or you can pick 2 5-stars and a 2-star. So we'll play around with a few combinations today and see what we find as our best options, and we'll go through that way. Cliff of Tough Beastmen, Dimension Dungeon. Fight against the Ancient Guardian to get special rewards, and they give you, as we spoke about before, guys, the rune sets in the new area are Vampire, Energy, Guard, Will, and Destroy. And then the 2A dungeons are Werewolf and Martial Cat. So let's have a look at what their skills are. Okay, so firstly we see the Fire Werewolf, guys. We'll start off with Werewolves. The Merciless Claws, has that changed at all? I don't know if it has. It is now, it gives a heal block for 1 turn and recovers HP by 30% of the inflicted damage. Surprise attack, dashes towards the enemy, inflicts damage 2 times, and stuns the target for 1 turn and recovers HP by 50% of the inflicted damage. The damage is proportionate to his max HP. Alright, the last component of that is recovers HP by 10% every turn. Recovery effects that you will receive increases by 100%. So I think what that's telling you is that if you have like a recovery, like the heal recovery thing that Ariel gives, for example, instead of healing for, I believe it's 15%, it heals now for 30%. So that's what it's going to be. Merciless Claws for the water one. Blocks it for 1 turn, and then it also does damage based on max HP, his max HP. So it is a HP type monster, so that could be pretty decent. We'll have to see what the scaling's like. Predator's Cry, so what this one does is it's a heal, AoE heal for 20% HP, and increases attack speed for 2 turns. It also gives a crit rate reduction buff for 2 turns as well. That's actually pretty interesting. That could be interesting. Okay, we'll keep that in mind. We've got to see how much of a cooldown that's on. Shred. Attacks an enemy 3 times. Each attack has a 45% chance to decrease the enemy's defense for 3 turn. 3 turn defense break. The damage of this attack increases according to his max HP. So his HP scaling, armor breaks, and he does a heal and crit rate reduction. It's a decent kit, actually. But he is a water type unit, so we'll have to keep that in mind as well. Next unit is the Wind one. Attacks the enemies with claws and blocks. Disturbs enemy HP by recovery by 1 turn. So no additional effect on the first skill. Second skill, Surprise Attack. Dashes towards the enemy, inflicts damage for 2 turns. Damage 2 times. Each attack decreases the attack bar by 15%. So it pushes back attack bar by 15%, and has a 40% chance to stun the target for 1 turn. So 30% attack bar pushback at most. A 1 turn stun chance. The damage is according to his max HP. Okay. If your HP status is higher than the enemy's, your attack will deal additional damage that is proportionate to your max HP and increases the target's cooldown time by 1 turn each. So second skill can do a 2-turn skill cooldown reduction. Interesting. So it's got a passive that increases skill target cooldown. That is a very interesting unit. I think that might be one of the only units that has a passive that increases cooldown. So we might see some of him in action, to be honest. It wouldn't surprise me because he's got the stun on second. Depending on what the cooldowns is, the stun on second is only like 3 turn. It might be okay. But the cooldown reduction is pretty interesting. We might see him. We'll see. Alright, we got Bella next. I'm not Bella, sorry. The Upright Bella. Ishia next, which we already spoke about as part of the update video. I don't think they've changed anything. I'm just going to have a quick scan through. Attacks the enemy's claw, yep. Heal block. Skill 2 increases attack bar by 15% and attack speed and 20% heal. Massacre violently attacks the enemy 4 times, so there's now no 50% chance. Now it's a 100% chance. And if you successfully remove a beneficial effect, the damage is inflicts will be increased by 20% and the cooldown will be reset if the enemy dies. So, yeah, if they have a lot of buffs, you do more damage for every buff you do break through or that you do remove. Okay. Jultan's the one that people are mainly interested about. I wasn't too hyped about him because he was already good. So if they made him OP, I mean, it could break it. So let's find out. Attacks the enemy. Okay, so heal block 1 for 2 turns. Okay, so he gets a buff now. He gets a 2-turn heal block. Surprise attack dashes towards the enemy, inflicting damage 2 times. Each attack has a 40% chance of stun. The damage is proportionate to his max HP. Okay, that's pretty standard. I don't know if that's changed at all, to be honest. And then the Contaminated Blood, the passive, inflicts 12% of his HP as damage when you're attacked with critical hit. Inflicts continuous damage for 1 turn with the 50% chance and weakens the defense for 1 turn. So now he gets a dot with every hit. Okay, so they haven't broken him. They've essentially left him alone. All he does really is add a dot, and he does a 2-turn heal block with his first skill. Not a bad first skill to have, to be honest. I think that'll be good. A lot of people do use him to counter Lauren right now, so it wouldn't surprise me if we see more of him in the more of him as a Guild War offense-based unit. All right, Martial Cats. These are the units I'm actually more interested in because I feel like these may have more of an impact to RTA. Okay, so we got Fire Martial Cat first. Attacks with this spinning punch and stun the enemy with the 50% chance. Counter attack increases crit rate for 3 turns and counter attacks when attacked. So it's a crit rate and the counter attack buff for 3 turns. The attack bar is increased by 50% and the damage you receive will be reduced by half when you get attacked while this skill is on cooldown. That's a pretty sizable buff onto her. Destructive Punch. Inflicts damage proportionate to your max HP with Strengthened Energy Punch and destroys the target max HP by 100% of the damage dealt. That's also very interesting. So it can destroy damage. It's not going to be good late game RTA. But it can still have pretty solid effects in other places, like a full CC lockdown unit. Because it has a pretty decent chance to stun with first skill. And pretty much the first skill is the skill to go with. Because it does do quite a lot once you do set up the counter attack. So it is pretty powerful. Alrighty, so what do we got? We got the water one now. Alright, so the water one, Energy Punch, does the same thing as the fire. Chain Attack. Launches 2 consecutive attacks on an enemy, inflicting damage and absorbing the enemy's attack bar by 25%. So it steals attack bar by 25% per hit. And then head-to-head passive. So the passive must have been buffed by a lot more. Critical rate will be at 100% if the enemy has no harmful effects. Attacks the target 1 more time with Energy Punch when you attack with a critical hit on your turn. So if you do Chain Attack, it'll go into an Energy Punch. So it does the Energy Punch twice. So you have actually 2 chances of stunning every turn when you use first skill. So that's very interesting. I think we'll see some of these because their first skill lockdown is pretty high. All right, Energy Punch again for the wind is non-changed. Chain Attack launches 2 attacks. Branding effect for 2 turns with a 50% chance to decrease the enemy attack bar by 25% chance with each hit as well. Okay, so it's got brand on second, and it's also got attack bar reduction, not absorption this time. Okay, so Tiger's appearance is a passive of the wind. The critical rate will be at 100% if the enemy has harmful effects. The inflicted damage will be increased by 20% for each harmful effect granted on the enemy. So when you do branding, it does increase damage by 25%. So now with the harmful effect, it also increases her damage by an extra 20% every time you target the enemy. So it's got like a inbuilt crow homunculus, brandier sort of effect on the in the passive. So pretty interesting units so far. All right. Anyway, Light Cat attacks with the spinning punch and stuns the enemy for 1 turn with the 50% chance. The damage of this attack will increase according to your max HP, so HP scaling. Counter attack, it's a 2-turn buff this one. Counter and crit rate buff. The attack bar is increased by 50%, and the damage you will receive will be reduced by half when you get attacked while this skill is on cooldown. So it gives you 50% attack bar when you use the skill, and the damage will be reduced as half when you get attacked. Okay. So that's very similar to the fire one. Fire one gets 3 turns though. So that's a big fact to keep in mind. So what do we got? We have now Lonely Fight passive. Absorbs the attack bar by 50% if you attack a monster with same or lower HP status. So if they got same or lower HP than you, and you attack them, you absorb 50% of their attack bar. That's pretty powerful. It recovers your HP by 50% of the damage dealt if you attack a monster that has better HP status than yours. So, scales on first skill are based on max HP, and it heals as with the passive if they have more HP than you. Otherwise, it steals 50% attack bar. That's a pretty powerful set. It's something I think we're going to see used quite a lot. Attack bar control in RTA is quite big. A chance of controlling and stunning a unit with the first skill is also very big. The only issue with her is that she scales off max HP, so late game RTA she won't be too useful damage wise, but she'll still be great for control, and she'll still be great for you know, being able to self-sustain by using you know, if she attacks a lower HP target. Sorry, a higher HP target than herself. So I think she can be pretty good. Okay, last one is a Dark Cat. Attacks the enemy with the opening punch and stuns the enemy for 1 turn with a 50% chance. And recovers HP by 20%. So it's like a vampire effect on skill 1. Chain attack. Launches 2 attacks. Inflicted damage and decreases the enemy's attack bar by 25%. So it doesn't actually do anything extra on the second. Eye for an eye. So this is the passive everyone's been talking about. Increase your attack bar by 30% and counter attacks the attacker when you are attacked with a critical hit. So whenever you are crit, you'll counter and you will also get attack bar increase, and you can't get defeated by critical hit attacks. What that's saying is that Vertihill can't kill you, Diana can't kill you, any units that are running at 100% crit rate can't kill you. So, this is actually a pretty powerful passive. Because now it means that the only way you can really kill her is either through like a Sierra Bomb, or like a Molong Nuke, or a unit that just doesn't crit when she's got no HP. But you gotta remember, if you get her down to like negative HP, or when I usually say negative HP on Twitch, I mean like literally no HP, and you crit her, she will counter attack you if you crit her, and she will heal with every hit. So it makes her a lot harder to deal with. I think we're gonna probably see her a lot. I think she might be the first Martial Cat that I'll actually be building, so we'll go ahead and work on her. The units I'm very interested about, guys. I think what's really making me very interested at the moment is the Wind Werewolf. He's got a very interesting skill set. I think we might see some of him. And what we might also see is we might see some Ashia. We might see Jultan. People will just be upgrading their Jultan for Guild War content, and then we'll probably have see some of these Martial Cats. I honestly feel like almost all of them can be used. It looks that way. I feel like Fire's in a pretty solid position. Dark and Light are very, very solid. And then I could see Wind being used for other content, mainly because of the way the branding effects work. Well, it brands, and it also does increased damage based on the number of harmful effects. And Water, we might see some of these units used as Guild War units because they lock down a specific element with their counter element. So Fire units that you fight on defense will be countered by the Water one, for example. So a first skill stun is quite big, and the fact that they're at 50% chance gives them a pretty solid chance to stun. Very excited. I'm very, very excited about these 2A monsters. They are looking pretty nice where they are at the moment. So we'll do some testing on them in the future for sure. So I think my priority at the moment is going to be building the Dark Cat and then going from there. Alright, craft building. Ancient runes. Okay, so crafting, all it means you have to collect is the Lumel ores, which you'll get from farming the 2As. What else has happened this patch? The Black Friday shop is finally open, guys. So just go to the special area in the shop, and then there's a special Black Friday shop, and that's where you can buy all the goodies that they mentioned before. We won't cover that off again. Just refer to my previous video on the Black Friday event, guys. I'll put that link in the description below, but we've already spoke about this patch before, so yeah, we'll leave that one alone. Summonhenge, exclusive summoning list has now changed for the 2nd of December, so next week's rotation. They're changing Fire Battle Mammoth and Copper to Fire Martial Cat and Wind Werewolf, so they're just making it a higher chance for you guys to actually get some skill ups or potentially some more what's it called? Some units that you want. You might want to build the Fire Martial Cat, and then you got access to it earlier. Alrighty. The last interesting thing is usually the bug fixes. Fixed an issue where notification of mystical scroll reward that was given Mount Sis clear was repeated, so hopefully they won't give out extra scrolls. I think it's just saying that when you cleared Mount Sis, it'll tell you, oh, you got a mystical scroll, but you don't actually get one. Dark Vampire, so Cadiz. Fixed an issue of the beneficial effect of removing chance not being applied correctly. I wonder if it was higher or lower than expected. I think it might have been lower than expected, potentially. Because it's meant to be 100% chance, I think. I'll have to double check that one later. Water Sky Dancer, Dancer Mirage. So this is like the cleansing. They changed the AI so the skills can be used at a more proper situation. So I wonder if it now prioritizes if your team is stacked with a lot of debuffs and not the current HP situation. Because I think it used to use it as a heal rather than as a cleanse. So I wonder if it does that now. Wind and Dark Giant Warrior, Atlas Stone. Fix an issue of the Giant Warrior's thrown weapon being displayed in an abnormal location. When the camera zoomed in effect is shown. Okay, so no one really cares about visualization when it's thrown in the air when it's zoomed in. So it's like showing a crit when it's not really a crit animation. Okay. So pretty interesting patch, guys. We'll probably come back later on and we'll probably do a video on how you can speed clear these 2A dungeons and how you can speed clear Lumel. So we'll do that later on down the track. Probably try to get that out tomorrow if possible. I'll try theory craft some teams tonight. We'll be streaming tonight. So if you ever want to check out my streams, guys, there's the link. I'll put it in the description below as well. We'll do some theory crafting tonight on stream, and we'll go from there, guys. So if you guys enjoyed what you saw in this video, please hit that like button. If you guys want to see any other content when it comes up, or if there's anything in particular you'd like to see, just put it in the comment section below, guys. I do check through comments quite thoroughly. Otherwise, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Take care, guys, and good night.